Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is expressing worries about the possible impact of the increase in petrol price on the Nigerian economy, particularly the manufacturing sector. The Director General of the association, Mr. Segun Ajayi Kadri, expressed this concern in Lagos, where he said the increase in petrol pump price might lead to increase in transport fares and price of goods and services across the country. He added that the decrease in the purchasing power would lead to reduced demand for non-essential goods and services, affecting businesses across sectors. The Director General says the performance of the manufacturing sector would be negatively impacted and impact businesses. They might need to adjust their pricing, which could lead to reduced profit margins if consumers' demand continues to weaken. Well, the federal government has handed over compressed natural gas buses to the Iruland transport company that's in Lagos. This is part of efforts of the presidential compressed natural gas initiative aimed at providing palliative measures and sustainable transport solutions to communities as Nigerians grapple with high transport costs. Sunday Binibo reports.
Since the federal government removed petrol subsidy and liberalized the foreign exchange market, the attendant effects have continued to impede the growth of various sectors of the Nigerian economy. High cost of transportation has remained one of the many impacts of this policy decision. But the federal government, through the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, have been working tirelessly to address some of these numerous challenges. The team is in the state to hand over CNG-powered buses to Iru Transport Company in Lagos.
Today is a fulfillment of Mr. President's promise, one of the many steps he had taken in the last 1 year to ensure we move Nigeria to the gas future that it deserves. Since December of last year, Mr. President did not just put a down payment of about 100 billion naira in the first phase of this program. Already in the second phase of the program, to run from this year to next year, he has committed an additional 200 and 340 billion naira in appropriations to the National Assembly.
For us in Iruland, we have the material, we have the human capital, we have the material capital. We also have the necessary contacts that is required to drive any economy. And I must, at this point, thank Mr. President for this presidential initiative. It's a major palliative.
Mr. Oluwagbemi stated that the deployment of CNG buses in Nigeria aims to address issues related to petrol importation and other challenges affecting Nigerians.
We're also here to work with our partner at Ibile Oil and Gas that we signed with additional 12 conversion centers that will now allow these transport entities like Iru, Land Transport Services, among many others, even NURTW, NATO and RITIA members, to convert their existing petrol buses to run on CNG and petrol, again to help lower fares.
The PCNGI has also inaugurated conversion points for petrol and diesel-powered commercial vehicles to enable them to run on compressed natural gas across the country, providing skids and other accessories in some cases. Sunday Binibo, TVC News, Lagos.
Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Ahmed Dangiwa, has challenged members of the Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria to introduce a whistleblower policy on the misuse of buildings or structures in the country. Speaking at the annual conference of Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria, he says the policy would help drastically reduce building collapse across the country. Helen Osamide Akings was there.
Building collapses in Nigeria have been on the increase in recent times. There are frequent media reports of collapse of buildings in major Nigerian cities like Lagos, Abuja and Port Harcourt, amongst others. This worrisome trend has continued to generate reactions and concerns from all stakeholders in Nigeria. Building industry and solutions are being profiled at this 2024 Valuers Assembly holding in Abuja. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development says practitioners must adhere to standards at all times and ensure that buildings conform with the laid-down plans and functionality to avoid the unexpected.
Even after completion and occupation of the buildings, there is bound to be a building collapse by the misuse of the buildings. Because a building can be misused due to its purpose. Maybe you could not use the buildings for the purpose it was built for.
This is a clarion call to ensure that valuations are not only accurate, but also insightful, taking into cognizance emerging trends and economic realities. You should do your utmost to stay ahead of the curve.
2024 Valuers Assembly have valuers across the nation in attendance. The need for valuers to play their roles in contributing to the nation's economy was highly emphasized at this gathering.
Our role as estate surveyors and valuers become even more crucial as we determine values of both tangible and intangible assets. We have the opportunity and the power to contribute to the renewed hope agenda of the federal government.
The theme for this year's conference is Valuation as a Tool for Revamping the Economy, the Role of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. This assembly will provide opportunity for its members to reaffirm its commitment to the highest standard of professionalism, ethics and integrity, even as they collaborate on innovative solutions to prepare the profession and the nation forward. Helen Osamede Kings, TVC News, Abuja.
And stock trading in Nigeria and many other African countries declined into weak territories as many investors showed interest in sales of stocks. If you get up reports, we'll be back with sports news. Stay with us.
Economic situation seemed to have forced many investors to return to market sales windows, where they offload huge volumes of shares and bonds for cash. With inflation rates above 34%, many investors tend to hold back monies than invest in market sectors. Tuesday's business closed in red, with index down by 0.35% to underscore losses on investments. Oil marketing company Conoil was most hit by the sales pressure, where it lost 4% in price. Dangote Sugar, Access Holding, Computer Warehouse Group and Cornerstone Insurance all left the market with losses. Marginal trade gainers were CAP, African Prudential Insurance, Deep Capital, Kebeton Aviation and ICO Insurance. Outside Nigeria, many markets across Africa traded and closed in red. The JSE in South Africa crashed securities prices by 0.22% as sales pressure moved across ETFs markets, mining and financial sectors. The Nairobi Exchange in Kenya pushed up prices marginally by 0.10%. Finally, deals in the Moroccan market in Casablanca got deep down in the negative territories on the back of stock sales. Efyong Ekop, TVC News, Lagos.